Couch Bros Comedy, 100% laughs, 0% facts. Don't sue us, just enjoy the show.
Every time I watch those glossy travel shows, I wonder, why do they all look like they're on a permanent acid trip of sunsets and caviar? Meanwhile, I'm here on my couch, making memories with this bag of chips.
Right? And honestly, if my idea of exotic is trying to figure out which hot sauce can spice up my ramen, then call me an international man of mystery. But hey, travel's not just about fancy views, it's about the stories. Even if my greatest adventure last week was the guy in the bar telling me his girlfriend ghosted him because she wanted more than a one-night fling with destiny.
Speaking of ghost stories, remember that time we joked about a haunted hostel in Prague? Imagine checking in and discovering that the ghost in the room isn't just a legend. It's the spirit of a bad decision you made on a drunken night. Oh, hello, sir. I'm Vladimir. I'm here to haunt your regrets and maybe even your leftover beer.
Vladimir would probably give you a dirty look, but damn, it'd be a hell of a story. And you know what's wild? Even if you never leave your hometown, you can still create these wild narratives. Think of it as travel by imagination, or vicarious vagabonding for the broke and fabulous.
Exactly. Let's say we start with a virtual tour of the world. We could spin tall tales about our adventures. For instance, the day I nearly got lost in the back alleys of Bangkok, which in reality is just me getting lost in the subway and confusing a street vendor's curse with a tax audit.
Or how I survived a night in Amsterdam's red light district without losing my shirt. And by shirt, I mean my dignity. I can already see it. Our animated selves arguing over which country has the best after-hours entertainment. Me, defending the wild, unfiltered nightlife of Thailand, while you're raving about the chaos of European clubs.
Let's not forget the food angle. How about a segment called Dirty Bites? We can rate the weirdest street food from around the world, even if it's just what's available at our local night market. This here is the world's nastiest taco, and it tastes like regret mixed with a hint of last night's whiskey.
Yes, and we can throw in a bit of adult commentary. You know, nothing's more aphrodisiac than a plate of mystery meat, if you're into that kind of thing. It's like a culinary striptease. Looks promising, but you're never quite sure if it'll leave you satisfied or screaming for mercy.
We'd have to give disclaimers, though. Viewer discretion is advised if you have delicate taste buds or a weak stomach. But come on, this is adult entertainment. We're here to have a laugh, poke fun at the absurdity of it all, and maybe make you wish you were as broke as we are so you can see the world through our drunken, chip-stained lens.
True that. And our animated brothers can travel the world without ever leaving the couch. Picture this. 1 minute, we're discussing the best dives in Berlin, where the beer is as cheap as the regrets the next morning. The next minute, we're in a fictional South American jungle where the mosquitoes are larger than your ex's ego.
I love that. And we can riff on the cultural stereotypes, always with respect, but with a bit of that unfiltered edge. In Italy, they say every pizza is a masterpiece. In my case, every pizza is a one-night stand. Hot, cheesy, and gone too soon.
That's gold. And let's spice it up by discussing our bucket list trips. Not the fancy ones. Our list should include places we can only dream about. Number 1 on the list, a full-length documentary on the art of napping in a hammock in Bali, with an occasional cameo by a parrot that recites Shakespeare in a throaty accent.
I'm down for that. And we can get into some debauchery talk too. You know, I've heard the locals in Rio claim that their carnival is so wild that even the statues in the park start twerking after midnight. I mean, if that's not a sign you've reached peak hedonism, I don't know what is.
To peak hedonism then, and to all the places we've never been, where our misadventures are just as likely to involve epic fails as they are epic tales. We can even invite our viewers to send in their own horror stories and wild fantasies. Dear viewer, tell us about that time you had a one-night stand with a city. And no, we're not talking about Vegas.
Hey now, I happen to have a refined taste in cities. I'd say a proper urban romance requires a backdrop of neon lights, seedy alleyways, and enough moral ambiguity to make a soap opera blush. Last night in Tokyo, I got lost in translation and ended up in a karaoke bar where the only language spoken was regret and rock ballads.
And speaking of language, let's not be shy about the filthy accents we pick up along the way. In Paris, the way they say "I love you" might sound poetic, but after a few glasses of wine, it comes out like a drunken insult to your mother. Vive la vulgarité.
Oh, absolutely. And our signature segment, Couch Chronicles, could recap our wildest daydreams. Today's adventure, a wild, unscripted escapade through the back streets of Marrakesh. Spoiler alert, it involved a camel, a hooker with a PhD in philosophy, and more hummus than is medically advisable.
A camel with a PhD. Now that's a sight I'd pay to see. And you know what? If we can make people laugh at the absurdity of our imagined journeys, then we're doing our job. It's not about showing the perfect picture. It's about celebrating the messy, the unpredictable, and the downright raunchy parts of travel.
Right on. We'll be the channel for those who dream big on a tight budget, where every misadventure is a ticket to the best stories. Who needs a passport when your imagination is your all-access pass to every seedy, scandalous, and sublime corner of the globe?
And let's be honest, sometimes the best travel memories come from the wildest nights spent on a stained couch, swapping tales of what might have been if you'd actually taken that flight. We're here to prove that even if you're stuck in the same zip code, the world is wide enough to let your mind roam free.
So here's to all the failed bookings, the canceled trips, and the dreams that keep us up at night. Let's raise a toast to every misadventure that makes us laugh, cry, and question our life choices, all from the comfort of our own living room.
To traveling with no limits and no funds. Just a couple of brothers, a busted couch, and a wild imagination that's always ready for the next dirty, off-the-cuff adventure.
I'd say we've already got the best travel guide around, the Couch Class Globetrotters. No baggage fees, no TSA lines, and all the hilarity you can handle. Next stop, a deep dive into the bizarre world of gastro-globetrotting, where we sample the sketchiest street foods our local dive can muster. Spoiler, it might get messy.
Messy is our middle name. And folks, if you're watching, buckle up, because we're about to take you on a ride that's equal parts informative, raunchy, and absolutely unfiltered. After all, the world isn't always pretty, and neither are we. But damn, we're entertaining.
So whether you're dreaming of exotic lands or just trying to survive another day on the couch, remember, adventure is a state of mind. And if your mind's off its rocker, then welcome aboard. This ride's gonna get dirty.
Until next time, fellow misfits, keep your passports imaginary, your stories spicy, and your nights as wild as our daydreams. Catch you on the flip side.